This is Abby Martin with your weekly election update for teleSUR English. Well, the 2020 election in the U.S. just gets worse. After Trump recovered from COVID with socialized medical care only available to him, the Presidential Debates Commission announced the next debate would be virtual due to Trump's diagnosis. But he refused to do it virtually, and Biden wouldn't negotiate. So instead of another debate, this great democracy got dueling town halls at the same time on different networks. At Biden's, in the midst of a climate emergency, he rejected the Green New Deal and defended fracking. And in response to a national Black Lives Matter uprising, he refuted the popular demand to defund the police, actually comparing cops to school teachers who simply need new tools. He also had some interesting words about how he would solve the issue of police murder.
Teach people how to de-escalate circumstances. De-escalate. So instead of anybody coming at you and the first thing you do is shoot to kill, you shoot them in the leg.
Shoot them in the legs? Wow, that's the same thing Israeli snipers brag about doing to Palestinian protesters. Moving on to Trump's town hall, where he again gave tacit endorsement for QAnon, a conspiracy that alleges top Democratic operatives are running a satanic pedophile ring and that high-profile arrests are just around the corner. Amazingly, these people believe Donald Trump, the same guy who sexualized his own daughter as a child and has over 20 sexual assault allegations against him, is the moral savior here. But that wasn't the only bizarre highlight from Trump's town hall. He was also asked about his constant promotion of conspiracists and white nationalist accounts on Twitter.
Just this week, you retweeted to your 87 million followers a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden orchestrated to have SEAL Team 6, the Navy SEAL Team 6, killed to cover up the fake death of bin Laden. Now, why would you send a lie like that to your followers? You retweeted
That was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves.
Absolutely amazing. And whether or not he even believes this stuff, this just shows how much he thrives on total confusion and paranoia. Trump is the chaos president. Of course, the corporate media considered the most newsworthy thing about these two town halls were the ratings. Headlines focused on how many more people tuned into Biden's than Trump's, as if that's somehow a metric of who we should vote for. Because that's all this election and every election really is. One big reality show. The absurdity of U.S. elections is unique in the world, but perfectly exemplary of American culture, in that it's nothing but entertainment spectacle, hyped up as the end-all be-all event of politics, designed to demobilize and depoliticize the masses. And an absurd amount of money is spent on this reality show. 2012 was the first time in U.S. history that candidates spent over $1 billion campaigning. Just 8 years later, Trump and Biden are projected to spend around $11 billion on their campaigns. Where the hell is all this money coming from? Average citizens are capped at donating just $6,000 to candidates. Well, not if you're someone like Sheldon Adelson, casino mogul and GOP megadonor, who just poured $75 million this week alone into Trump's re-election campaign. Meanwhile, Biden has a super PAC funded by corporate lobbyists for the healthcare industry, weapons contractors, and banking. This all shows who this election is really for. Wall Street is now hedging their bets on a predictable Biden after cashing in on their fat corporate tax cut from Trump, which, by the way, reduced corporate tax from 35% all the way to 21%. And Biden isn't really planning to roll it back. He's already assured his rich donors that nothing will fundamentally change for them if he is elected. The untold tragedy here, guys, is that tens of millions of Americans desperately need that fundamental change. What should have been huge election news this week has been ignored by the corporate media and both campaigns. New data shows that just since May, 8 million more Americans have fallen below the poverty line. And according to the U.S. Census, about 10% of American adults, or 22 million, reported they didn't have enough to eat within the past week. 5 million more than before the pandemic. But neither Trump nor Biden is campaigning to these tens of millions of people with a plan that could help them. All that is offered to America's poor is the opportunity to vote for one of two millionaires, every 4 years.